Where were you on this one, Black Lives Matter? What's going on, guys? Drew Hernandez here with Lives Matter. Welcome to the Lives Matter official podcast. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification to never miss a post, never miss a man on the street interview or a podcast or an episode of Real News Gang. Make sure to do it now. And if you guys would like to support me, you could support me monthly on Patreon. The links are in the description below, or you can give a one donation as well. The links are in the description below as well. So we have some news today. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This news infuriates me, really pisses me off, for multiple reasons. Watching these clips just totally broke my heart. Literally, I was crying. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Watching this is not, scripted. None of this is fake or staged. This is real life. Real human beings are being affected by stupid left-leaning politicians that are bowing down and caving in to the leftist rage mob. And one of them today, I wanted to give honor to this man, to this father that lost his son in the so-called CHAZ, autonomous zone, or CHOP, or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's an embarrassment to the United States of America with all the violence and absolute physical assault that went on in this place. Just complete lawlessness. They claim to have been there autonomously for Black lives. They claim to have established the autonomous zone, or whatever you want to call it, in the name of Black Lives Matter and fighting against and protesting against police brutality and all in the name of Black people living. But a young Black man was shot in the infamous CHOP zone, and no one is there. No one is to be found. No one is protesting. No one is burning the streets. No one is burning down the buildings. Black Lives Matter isn't storming the streets demanding justice for a Black life because they're hypocrites. The father of a 19-year-old Black man who was shot and killed last month inside Seattle's Capitol Hill organized protest, CHOP, publicly pleaded for answers on Hannity Wednesday night, saying police and Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin, freaking genius, have failed to reach out to him since his son's death. Now, I'm going to show you guys a few clips, and I want you guys to pay attention to this because this is real life. This is not a movie. This is not scripted. This is a father, because of stupid lawlessness and limp-wristed politicians that are unwilling to put their foot down and say no to a bunch of kids that have never been disciplined. Now a father, his son, was shot in cold blood in this stupid CHOP zone, and this is the result. The first thing that he talks about here in the first series of clips I'm going to show you, is that no one has reached out to this man. No one has reached out in the media. No one has reached out. The Seattle mayor, nobody's reached out to him until this interview went down. But before this interview, no one was reaching out to this man. He heard nothing. Absolutely unacceptable. Take a look at this.
No one ever came and spoke to him.
Nobody ever. I never talked to. Only way I found out, I see my son the night before he passed away. He was on the couch. I seen him, and he was like he was about to go to sleep. I seen him. I laughed at him. We tickled a little bit. He stayed with me all day, because he stays with me anyway. That's my guy. And we laughed, and I said, I'm going to sleep. I went to sleep, and only way I found out was just two of his friends, just two friends that just happened to be up there, and they came and told me they weren't even from Seattle. Now, mind you, I haven't heard the police department, they never came. My son's address, his ID, him personally, him as a person, he still had, somebody should have came, knocked on my door, and still to this day should have been like, coming to talk to me and let me know about my son. To this day, I don't know nothing. I'm just still sitting here. I haven't heard nothing from nobody. Ain't nobody contact me.
You haven't heard from the mayor? You haven't heard from the mayor? You haven't heard from the governor? You didn't hear from anybody?
I haven't heard from the mayor. I haven't heard from the police department. I just now, recently, just because we went on TV, they reach out to me and let me know what they're doing now. But my son's been, he's been deceased now for what, two weeks, somewhere in there. I don't even remember. I'm just so, my days is like, every day is like every day. It's the same day. So it's like, I'm confused and I'm but I understand that, whatever's going on. But even at the time, even when my son passed away, when I went to the hospital, there was no detectives there. There was nobody there, no media there. There was nothing. He was nobody. He was just like, we was just there, and we just sat there, and I said, man, why are we sitting here? There's nobody else here. It's like they didn't care. It didn't matter. I haven't heard from the mayor. I haven't heard from the police department. I haven't from no city and nobody. Nobody. Only thing I heard from is what you guys is hearing from me now. That's it. Now they're acting now. This is today. This is 3 weeks later. If I would have never even came on TV, that would still be going on right now.
Listen, the left, and I don't want to make this political, but you have to address this. Because right now we have cities burning. We have people being killed. We have innocent people getting caught in the crossfire, all in the name of Black Lives Matter and all in the name of fighting against police brutality and social justice. But this father, his son, gets shot, killed, murdered in cold blood. And he's sitting here on live TV telling the entire world, the entire nation, as a black man, that, hey, when my son was shot and killed in this stupid chop zone, there was no one there. No local authorities, no detectives, no police, no Black Lives Matter, no Seattle mayor. He says there was no media as well. All these people that parade online, that put out blackout squares in order to pay homage to Black Lives Matter, that claim to care for black people. Oh, but when it doesn't fit the narrative, you have a black American father on national news asking the world why. Why is nobody here? Why, when my son is shot, a black life, why is no one here? Why? Because it doesn't fit the narrative, and it's not convenient, and it's not what they want, and so it doesn't matter. Even though you're black, it doesn't matter, because if it doesn't fit our narrative, then you are invisible to us. This is so hypocritical. This is so unacceptable. If you're on the left and you accept this and you still believe the lies that the left and CNN and all these leftist organizations cater to Black Lives Matter and actually care about black lives, this should be sufficient enough evidence for you to conclude that these people do not care about black people. The Seattle mayor that has been peddling to the black community in Seattle, claiming that she cares and she wants the kids to protest and allow them to be the next revolutionaries in our generation, to allow the chop zone to exist. Even when a black kid gets shot and killed and murdered in cold blood, where is she? Nowhere to be found. Only until weeks later, until Sean Hannity interviews this poor father, only then do the local authorities give this man any attention. And these people care about black people? You still believe that? Ridiculous. Now what happens next here is that this father and his friend that's here alongside with him to comfort him and do this interview with him actually show honor to Sean Hannity for being one of the only ones, especially in the media, to be so gracious enough to reach out to this poor father that lost his son in cold blood murder in the so-called chop zone. Take a look at this.
I just want to let you know personally, beyond all the politics, that I appreciate how you reached out to Horace and you said how you understood his condition. I think that's real big of you, and I appreciate that too.
Yes. I appreciate it too, because that's probably the only thing I've ever heard from anybody I haven't heard that from anybody else.
I've seen you before. You were a very popular figure. I've seen that. I've seen you on your show. Take command of your own show. You have a right to do that. But to be as gracious as you have been today makes me feel like you are being a better Christian. Makes me feel like, it gives me a different type of hope just to really showcase what's inside of you and what I want to believe that's inside of you. I don't want to just say things just to be saying it, but I often want to give credit where credit is due, no matter on what side
Mr.
anybody
Taylor.
is on. And I just want to thank you for that.
Does that add up to you? After all the left-leaning media organizations and big-time corporates that seem to be peddling to the Black Lives Matter communities and the Black Lives Matter movement, What have you been seeing up and down your feed for the past couple months? Every single organization peddling to Black Lives Matter, blacking out all of their websites, blacking out all their social media handles, just peddling to black people for the past couple months. CNN, MSNBC, all of these hardcore absolute corporations that have been peddling saying they care about black people, but you have here two black men, one a father that lost his son in cold blood murder in the ridiculous CHOP zone that claims to be advocating for black people and black lives. And when his son gets killed in cold blood murder, where is CNN? Where is MSNBC? Where are you, Rachel Maddow? Where are you, Don Lemon? Where the heck are you, Anderson Cooper? All of these people that claim to care about black people so much and that want to progress in society and want to see Black Lives Matter top the entire world and see black people get a seat at the table that they oh so deserve, and you're doing everything in your power to make sure that that happens with all of your influence and money and power that you have on social media and mainstream media? Where are you? Why aren't you there for this father that lost his black son? Why weren't you there? Because it doesn't fit your narrative? Because it doesn't fit the story? Because it has nothing to do with police brutality? I thought Black Lives Matter. What about a black kid that's shot to death in cold blood murder at a so-called Black Lives Matter autonomous zone? Oh, that doesn't fit CNN's narrative. So you know what happens? Black lives do not matter at that point. They are liars. They're hypocrites. And if you honestly think at this point that CNN cares about black people, what planet do you live on? Seriously, look at this. Now, this is going to infuriate you because this is a father. For you fathers out there, for you mothers out there, for those that have kids, this is heartbreaking because this man has lost his son because of a bunch of limp-wristed politicians that were unwilling to shut something down that should have been shut down because it was violating law and it was putting people at risk to be killed. This is why this man breaks in this way. You know what, leftists, Black Lives Matter, and all you communists out there and social justice warriors that think that all of this should be okay and you justify CHOP and CHAZ existing just to get the point across and so people could have their voices heard. You know what? You are to blame for this. You watch this and you watch this. This is because of you. Watch this, and you should be ashamed of yourself as you watch this father break down in tears because of your advocacy. This man's son has been murdered. Take a look.
Excuse me, but it's getting to the point. You know where? You know it's getting.
Gotcha.
I'm so sorry.
Just really.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Anderson. I can only say this as a dad. You want to break Sean Hannity? I'm a pretty tough guy. That will break me. What you've been through.
Somebody did ask for this, and they need to come talk to me, and somebody need to come tell me something, because I still don't know nothing, and somebody need to come to my house and knock on my door and tell me something. But, I don't know nothing. All I know is my son he got killed up there, and he's just a 19-year-old. No, that's Horace Lorenzo Anderson. That's my son, and I loved him, and that was my son.
Got your family. Don't worry about
everybody.
it.
I could tell you, sir, and Andre, I didn't want to cut you off earlier, but, on this show, we've done something. We have every weekend hundreds of kids shot, people shot in Chicago, killed every weekend. We get a death toll. Nobody knows their names. These are American kids, grandmothers, grandfathers, moms, and dads. We're the United States of America. We can fix this. We don't fix this.
I'm hearing from YouTube and I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. All I know is my son's dead, and I don't know nothing, and I'm still trying to figure out answers so I can sleep. I don't sleep, My kids don't sleep. I can't even stay at home. My kids don't even. They feel like they're unsafe at home now. So I've been buying motel rooms, and I don't have that type of money for this. I'm not. you know, I wasn't prepared for this. You know what I'm saying?
And I guess my question is, we haven't asked.
To him again?
Yeah,
I can't talk to him. I can't just tell him I love him. You know, one thing about me though, I raised all my kids in one household. All my kids, I had the privilege to be able to raise all my kids. You know, so they've been with me. So the rest of my kids, they still stay with me, and I got a chance to raise him. God gave my son to me at 2 years old, and I've been raising him since 2 years old the best I can. You know. And, you know, kids, they do what they do. My thing in life was I can't teach. All I can do is teach you how to live. I couldn't teach him how to die because I ain't never died before. So I don't know how to teach my kids how to die. All I can teach you is I know how to teach you how to live. So when you say that, I respect that because when I wake up in the morning, I be trying to walk in the living room. I want to see him and be like, man, all I got is a picture now. And I'm going, and I love you. And I'm just hoping, you know, because I have never been dead before. So I can't tell you, you know, hey, he's dead. He can hear you. No, we say this and we believe in things because that's what we're supposed to believe in God. We believe in everything. But I've never been dead. So I'm hoping that he hears me. Because even before he passed away, one thing I always tell everybody, I tell my kids every day, I love you. I kiss them. They're old. They say, Dad, they get mad. You know, Dad, you kissing me. I kiss you. Dad, quit kissing on me. It don't matter. I love you because that's my love that I share because that's one thing I can say. He knows that I loved him. You know what I'm saying? Because and he got a sister. He got family behind him that really loved him. That, man, they really loved this, man. He was the blessing, man. It was just incredible. He was an incredible blessing and everybody loved him. And that was my son. And I can't tell him no more, but if he can hear me now, you know, I love you, son, you know, with all my heart. You know, I talk to him in the morning in the showers. I tell him, man, I just wish that you would have just stayed home that night.
Listen, let me be real with you. This is why we need law and order. Because without law and order, innocent people get caught in the crossfire. People that should have never been hurt, people that should have never died, that should have never shed blood, they get caught in the crossfire. You want to defund the police? You want to remove law and order? You want to remove all forms of law in the name of Black Lives Matter? Let me ask you one thing. You have this father here that is crying his eyes out because he will never see his son ever again. And he's asking why? Why isn't anyone coming? Why isn't Black Lives Matter coming? Why isn't the mayor of Seattle coming? Why isn't the governor of Washington coming? Where are you all? Where is CNN? Where is MSNBC? Where are all the SJWs, all the celebrities that peddle to Black Lives Matter, that claim that they care about black people, when you have a black father that lost his son in cold blood murder that is sitting on national television in the USA asking, where are you? Because it's a lie. Because it's not real. Because these people and these SJWs, all they care about is putting their message out, and they don't care about any substance or any real change. Because when a black man is crying his eyes out for his dead son on national TV, no one says a word. It took Sean Hannity, it took Fox News to reach out to this poor father that's breaking at the seams in order to get his voice heard. This is a result of passive politicians. This is a result of limp-wristed individuals that have been duly elected in our electoral system, governors, mayors, senators, congressmen and women, even people that are in executive power that are doing absolutely nothing to uphold the rule of law. And that cater to the rage mob and that bow to the rage mob. And it's not until someone gets killed, it's not until an innocent person sheds blood, do people care about law and order. Because if you right now are on the left and you still cannot sympathize with this, then shame on you. Because you have no heart, you have no soul, and you have absolutely no sympathy for someone that is black, that lost their black son, that should have not died. The father, if you watch the full interview, even says that his son was special needs and he was easily manipulated in order to follow the crowds. This is what the left is doing. This is what they go for. They go for people that can't think for themselves. They go for people that are just so easy to manipulate. They're nothing but pawns on this chess game of the political game, where it's not about left and right anymore. It's not about Democrat or Republican anymore. It's good and it's evil. And that's why people are getting stuck and shot and killed in the crossfire, because you have Democrats like in Seattle that won't condemn lawlessness and allows it to go on for far too long. It should have never happened. CHOP should have been shut down. CHAZ should have been shut down the same hour it was attempted to be established. But the reason why these politicians let it stay up is because they're afraid to tell the rage mob no, because they're afraid of losing their electoral power. They're afraid of losing donor money. They're afraid of doing what's right. So you know what? They let people, innocent people, get killed. And I know I'm a little passionate right now, but the reason why I'm extremely passionate right now, maybe a little overly passionate, is because innocent people are dying now. This is our political world because of a bunch of leftists and SJW communists and people that are in power that are unwilling to tell a bunch of kids that are disobedient and that are snowflakes and that can't handle being disciplined. No. Are you on the left right now? Are you watching me? Are you one of these people that hate me because I'm a conservative? Are you one of these people that hate me because I'm a Christian and because I believe something differently than you? How can you sit there and accept this? How can you sit there and still say Black Lives Matter when CNN and MSNBC and all of these so-called celebrities, elite, are doing and saying nothing when this black man is on national news crying his eyes out because his son was murdered? How can you still support this? You are now seeing the results of passive politicians that are unwilling to tell people no, that care more about their appearance and the praise of men than the fear of God and what they're meant to do and uphold, which is the rule of law. This is now the result of lawlessness in the United States of America, where people don't care about good and evil any longer. People don't care about morality any longer. People don't care about what's right or what's wrong, only about what feels right, only about what makes them feel like they're doing the right thing, even though there is a code of morality that exists within all of us, and you know it, because when you're doing something wrong, you're alerted from within. But now people are searing their consciences, even elected Democrats and even some Republicans that are just turning the blind eye and they're not doing what's right. These people should be voted out. These people should not be holding their positions of power because they are not serving the American people. CHAZ should not have gone on at all. These autonomous zones are a joke. They're lawless. There's violence, anarchy. It's unconstitutional. Private, public businesses are being affected. People are being killed. I had Kalen on the other day. You guys know he was physically assaulted by a black guy because he was in CHAZ reporting. They dragged him on the street like an animal. And this is what Democrats allow. This is what the left allows. Like the mayor in Seattle allowed this to happen, allowed these thugs and these criminals and these murderers in Black Lives Matter that are murdering black people now. And the media doesn't say anything because it's not convenient, because it doesn't fit the narrative, because it's not going to get any clicks, because it's not going to stroke the waves of the rage mob, because it's not going to help Uncle Joe Biden in his election. Oh no, it ain't police brutality. We can't use it. This is how these people think. If you honestly don't believe that this is how these people think, then man, you got a lot of intellectual growing to do. Because this is the America that you now live in. This is unacceptable. Where is Black Lives Matter? Why aren't they condemning this? Why aren't they comforting this father? He's a black man. His son was black. Where are the riots? Where are the protests? Where are the burnt down buildings? Where are they? Where are they? They're nowhere to be found because Black Lives Matter is a lie. Because if you are black and you don't fit the narrative and you lose a loved one, then you know what? You don't matter to the left. Because unless you fit their narrative, you matter. But if you don't, you're invisible. So does Black Lives Matter really mean anything to the left-leaning media? Does Black Lives Matter even mean anything to Black Lives Matter? Because if Black lives really mattered, why was Sean Hannity, a white man, the first one to reach out to this broken, shredded father whose heart is completely shattered? Why did it take Sean Hannity, a white man, to reach out to him to cover his story? And where was Black Lives Matter? Where was CNN? Where was Don Lemon? Where was Van Jones? Where were all these Black Lives Matter advocates? Nowhere to be found. Why? Because Black Lives Matter is a lie. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of the Lives Matter Official podcast. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Every single one of you guys that donate, whether it's monthly or whether it's one time, thank you. If you guys would like to donate, you guys can donate one time. The links are in the description. Or if you'd like to support me monthly on Patreon, the link is in the description as well. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and make sure to turn on the bell notification to never miss a video from me. So I'll see you guys next time.